Good afternoon, this is Ralf Friedrichs from the Take Your Life Back Today show. As promised, we finally have Richard Flores on the phone here. Richard, just say hello to everyone.
How you doing, guys? My name is Richard Flores, and I'm a filmmaker and actor. My YouTube channel is Richard Plus Films. Now that channel is all about if you are interested in filmmaking, how a film is done from the very beginning to the very end. You guys will see behind the scenes. You guys will see what the good, but the bad and ugly of filmmaking. so that's what my channel is all about, and plenty other things, much more other things on my channel.
Okay, listen, why don't you tell us the name of your upcoming film?
My current film I'm working on. I'm halfway done. It's been a long process. The film is LGBT, my flag, my rights, my life.
And from the clips that I've seen, it looks like it's going to be a huge success, and it's going to be a great film.
Thank you. And Ralph, you are going to be in it, and we are going to film next week. So I think that will be good.
And I look forward to it, and I think you had asked me to do some voiceovers also.
Yes.
Yeah, that's, well, whatever it is, and you know what, I look forward to doing it, and I want to welcome you to the show, and I'm so happy that I was introduced to you from, I believe it was Gloria and CJ that told me for us to get together and do this. And a lot of people in my audience always ask me about filmmaking. I'm not a filmmaker, Richard. I'm not. I work more on videos. I'm a addiction recovery coach, a life coach. I'm an optician. So I'm not a filmmaker, but you are, and there has been so many people asking me certain questions, and I saved 10 of those questions, and I want to ask you those 10 questions, and if you could keep your answers down to about 2 minutes per answer, due to restrictions on time limits here, that would be great. So we're going to dive right into it, and at the end of these questions, if there's anything else you want to say to the audience, I'd be more than happy to give you the mic again, okay?
Okay, great.
So question number one, these questions that I came up with, again, some of them came from audience members that I've had now for about 3 years saved up, and some of them I came up with. So I'm not going to give out names, who gave them to me, whatever. But the first question is, did you always want to be a filmmaker?
Oh yes. Ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to be a filmmaker. I had my camera, and I went all around the house. I started filming every single each of my family members, and I don't know if I drove them crazy or not, but and my mom, she passed away in 2002.
I'm sorry.
And yeah, and I consider her my first interview. It was me and her in the room alone, and I just put the camera at her. It was just like a 5-minute, less than 5 minutes, and I actually had a chance to film her and just interview her. I think I asked only just one question, and that's it, because I was a little kid, and I'm so happy that that I had a chance to film my mom, and so yeah, I always wanted to be a filmmaker.
Well, that's excellent. You know what? That kind of almost goes right into question number 2, which the question is, what inspired you to become one? And it sounds like you gave me a partial answer on that already, but I'll let you continue if there's something else you want to add to that.
Yeah, of course. This is a interesting story. It's probably a unique story and a true story. I was in my school auditorium, and in my school at the time, I think it had a theater on department up in the movie department, and my current girlfriend at the time, basically young kids, I was looking for a makeout room. Yeah. So inside the school, so the second level of the school auditorium was a small room. So we went up there, and I had friends that worked in there. So anyway, so when I was making out with the with the girl, I turned to my right, and there was lights, cameras, wires, everything about filmmaking. But not only that I felt in love with the girl, I fell in love with filmmaking at that very moment. So that's how I got into filmmaking.
Well, and that, yeah, I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
that goes right to question 3 because what age was that you said?
I believe I was 11 years old. 12, 11.
Yeah, it's almost like puppy love, right?
Yes. It was very interesting because at that moment, I just turned to my right, and I just, like I said, not only I fell in love with the girl,
Right.
I fell in love with filmmaking at that very moment.
And that's pretty funny. The next question is, and I just want to give you a little rundown real quick. My show, as you know, is being seen pretty much all over the world, but right here in the United States, 22 rehab centers, a couple of correction facilities now play my videos, my educational videos. And so I want to ask you, as a filmmaker, what's the best thing about being one?
What's the best thing?
About being a filmmaker?
Well, the best thing is you don't know where you're going to be or who you're going to meet, right?
Yeah.
But you get to travel to different places and experience new things. It changes you to improve you to be a better human being, and it's never a dull moment, a boring moment. It's always, every time it's always exciting.
That and for me the best thing is in videotaping is that I'm helping people. And the next question for you is, what's the worst thing? And I can tell you my worst thing is when I go into certain stores or barbershops, they say, hey, we saw you on Vimeo, YouTube, or we saw you on Channel 12, or we saw you on Bill Cunningham show, or whatever. So what's the worst thing about you being a filmmaker?
The worst thing is, currently, right now, I work alone. A film crew. I don't have a film crew. I would love to have a film crew someday. And also but the time. Sometimes I get lost track of time, and I forget that I have family and loved ones that I had to be with, because I could go, but the process of filmmaking, I go film, I think of the script, and I can take hours, and then I come back home and I have to edit but the footage, and I could sit in the laptop for hours and hours, and then after the film is done, I have to go promote it. So I get lost of quality time with loved ones, and but the worst also is filming on technical problems. But this happened to me 3 times. I went filming, and for 2 times, 3 times. Once was a film gig that someone hired me. I interviewed that person, and I thought the lavalier was mic'd up properly. So when I got back home, I didn't hear no audio, and and that happened to me 3 times.
Oh, and my God!
One was a film gig, and the other worst thing about being a filmmaker is getting cast members, especially if they don't believe in your topic. And that's the worst. That's the toughest thing to get cast members.
Right, right. And certain topics require certain personalities, and I hope that you stepping up to the plate and being on my show, it helps maybe people out there that maybe want to look into becoming filmmakers, or even helping you on a voluntary basis, because I can imagine you don't have a budget to hire people. And
I spend my own money.
See,
I spend my own dime.
That's exactly what I mean. And so if there's any people out there, maybe they want to get a hold of you if they have any experience and want to do it on a volunteer. Because folks, as you're watching us right now and you're listening to us, remember, anything you do in free in life has two purposes. First purpose is karma. It will come back to you. But more importantly, it could give you a new name to bigger and better one day. So, Richard, what's the estimated number of projects you have worked on? You don't have to go through the whole list, but the estimate.
About 10 projects, but and other projects, but this time I filmed for a client for his documentary, but I'm not editing. I'm just filming.
Right.
And there's other projects, but I did I guess but the basic topics of of life. I did women's rights, a film about women's rights. That film name is on Last Looks, and animal rights. But my latest film on animal rights is All You Rights Go Vegan. There's some other ones.
So, but that's listen, they're all good topics. We all have favorite filmmakers. I can tell you my favorite filmmaker of all time is, I really should say my brother, but he really isn't. It's Steven Spielberg. Who is your favorite filmmaker?
Well, you won't be surprised. I don't have one.
Oh.
I don't have, but I do respect. I respect 100%. I can say, if I had to say, for my favorite filmmaker is Hitchcock.
Yes, absolutely.
Because his mindset was in the silent days. So the silent days, you had to move the camera,
Yes.
So that's I like Hitchcock, but I don't know. I love movies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Hitchcock, he's in a league by himself, because back then when he was doing it, he didn't have all these special effects like they have now, and 100 cameras in the studio. To lead into question number 8 is favorite movie. My favorite movie of all time. It's an oldie back from '79. Actually, two of them, Jaws and Rocky, the original. What about you? Your favorite movie?
Well, I like those two, but it's not my favorite. But I like those. I like those two. My favorite movie, Interview with the Vampire and The Lost Boys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was definitely a good one. Yep. You know what?
And those two movies got me into acting. Ever since I saw those two movies, it has inspired me to be an actor.
Right. Well, you know what? Let me just say this, and I want my audience to hear this. I don't know you that long, Richard, but I will tell you that the fact that you're doing this upcoming film, the one you're presently working on, tells me a lot about your character. Because people need to bring awareness to not just today's society of being labeled, but what is the history of all this that's going on. America is being torn apart by so many different situations, including people being labeled. And I am so thankful for folks, filmmakers like you, that bring this to the attention to not only the American people, but hopefully, being that I know you're going to be putting on YouTube, it goes internationally automatically. So I thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's a hard work in filmmaking, and seriously, we cannot do it without but the audience or cast members, but we can't do it without you guys,
Right. Well, it
doesn't work.
Right.
Without the cast.
No, of course not. That definitely doesn't. It's so much work. I have 2 full-time jobs, plus, like I told you, I'm a life coach, and doing these videos. If you look at how many videos I have, you'd be amazed. I have 1,600 and something videos. It's 3.5 years of a lot of work, but it's so worth it because every single video, including this one that you're on, is an informational piece because there are people out there that want to become like you. They want to be filmmakers, and you're shedding light on what it's like to be a filmmaker. And I want you to tell the people, how has your life changed since you became a filmmaker?
Filmmaking for me guides me to happiness, and one experience I was filming a film project on my own of this protest, and I thought it was another film project. I thought I was going to just film and leave, and I filmed animal rights activists, and they talked to me about veganism and animal rights, and do my filmmaking. And I became vegan. It took me a couple of weeks to be vegan. And through my filmmaking, also I met my girlfriend that I'm living with right now.
Okay.
I've been together with her for 3 years now.
Oh, congratulations!
And, yeah, thank you. And I was filming at a film gig, and I met her in the train. So through filmmaking, I had a job to film, and I just met her,
right.
on that date. And so, and filmmaking changed me. It makes me feel peaceful, and it's my outlet. And I do suffer from depression, and it takes that away from it, And it makes me happy.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I'm sorry you're suffering from depression, and I'm glad you're getting better at it. And as you know, that's what I do. I help people that have depression. So anytime you need to talk to me, you're certainly welcome to give me a buzz.
Yeah.
I just earned more respect for you because you said something that I didn't know about you, that you had a girlfriend, and you've been in a relationship for 3 years. And here's why I respect you even more, is because you are bringing attention with your existing film that you're making to something that doesn't even affect your life.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
Let's say if somebody else would have done this this film that you're doing that affects them directly, I can understand why they're doing it. But you're doing this to bring attention to one of the major problems that this world has, and that's people being labeled for whatever reason.
That's exactly what I want to do.
Yeah, exactly. So here's our last question, and I don't know if you need time to think about this one, but what's one piece of advice you can give someone who also wants to make it in the movie business? If you had any advice for the youngsters out there.
Okay. I just turned 30 years old this year, and I will give advice to the younger me. To the younger youths. If you say that you are a filmmaker, then you are one. Pick up any camera. It could be your parents' old camera, iPad Mini, or a iPhone, and you just go out and make a film. Make your own path and create a unique stories. Go out freestyle filming. Write a mini script. Definitely practice your film shots. But you have to practice your film shots. Because no one likes talking heads. Make sure you get a B-roll footage. You can do a voiceover. Also, don't let the camera stand still too long. always move your camera. Be hands-on with the camera. Don't leave it not only on the tripod, but the tripod is mainly for sit down interviews. You have to move your camera around.
Perfect advice. And you said it right about a tripod. I'm doing this interview with you, and mine, of course, is on a tripod. And it has to be because I can't move around and have a phone interview doing that. So that's good advice. And in the background, you can't see it right now, Richard, because you're a phone interview. In the background, everyone, you can see there's some scrolling pictures of Richard. There's some pictures of the name of his film company. Folks, I want you all to realize that it doesn't matter what you want to do in life, but if you just try, no matter how many times you fail, you dust your knees, you stand straight up, and you continue. Take Richard's advice. If you want to be a filmmaker, get any camera you can and start and call yourself a filmmaker, because the minute you press on the film, you're a filmmaker. Right, Richard?
Yes, sir. Yeah. These days, it's completely different. It's a whole different world. It's a whole different animal with the camera. It's not like before. You had to pay for film, and they had precious time, and it was very expensive. These days, it's completely different. So no excuses, guys.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I hope to God that whoever was watching got some great information from you. I know that since you and I decided to do this segment, the research I did on the clips before this interview, I learned a lot about filmmaking, even though I've acted probably in about 7 films for my audience that knows that my brother's been a producer now for over 30 years, and he works for the Virginia State Crime Scene Unit now, videotaping. But Richard, I thank you so much for appearing here. I know for a fact I'm going to have you on more often talking about different topics. I want you to get back on here eventually and promote your film when it's completed, and we can show some clips of it then at that time. Maybe I can even get you in here to the Hamptons to sit down with me and we can talk, or we can meet at a neutral place, or whatever we want to do.
Okay, sounds good, Ralph. Thank you very much for allowing me to be in your show. Thank you.
Oh, no, you're welcome. Don't hang up on me. Let me say goodbye to the audience. Shut off the camera. Folks, here at the Take Your Life Back Today show, we cover every topic. Today's topic was what it's like to be a filmmaker. Richard Flores, the filmmaker, talked a little bit about some of the questions that you folks, that's right, you and the audience had. And I hope to God that you all appreciated his information and his experience. Remember, when you are down and you are depressed and you need help, call me at 844-405-HELP, because that's what I'm here for, is to help you take your life back.